Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here with, not a daily sickness video. Yes, just a regular video for you guys. Back when I decided to start doing the daily sickness videos, I mean, I've always done a daily video ever since I started years ago. But, when I started to do the actual, like, daily sickness videos where I wasn't shooting anything in advance, everything you saw me shoot was done on that day, I said, oh, I'm going to continue to still do regular videos that are not daily sickness videos. And then, I did, like, I think one. So, it's been very busy around this area. And having a kid is a really busy thing. They take up all your time. So anyway, here's the regular video, and what we're going to talk about today is something you've all been asking me. Am I going to show off? Am I going to show off? Am I going to show off? And yes, I am. And that is everything that I watched over the Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon, the 2014 Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon. A lot of you guys participated in that. That's awesome. You were posting on places like Instagram that you were watching stuff and hashtagging, Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon 2014. That was cool. Some of you guys made videos showing what you watched for the Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon. That was absolutely awesome. Really enjoyed all that. Very, very cool you guys decided to join along. And that is where we watched nothing but horror movies from the very first day of fall, very first day of autumn, all the way up until October 31st, Halloween. So I had a blast. Let's get down to it. Let's take a look at what I checked out. I'm not going to really talk much about each video or each title I checked out. Not going to give too much of my... I'm just going to give my thoughts really quickly. I'm not going to talk, 15 minutes about one title. At least I'm going to try not to. We'll see. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly. Just give you a really quick thought on each title. And we'll go from there. So let's start. So the first title I checked out was Prison. One I've been wanting to check out for some time now. This turned out to be absolutely fantastic. Great, great film. I'd highly recommend checking this one out. Kind of like a supernatural horror. Fantastic watch. Definitely one to see. Then, of course, we have the classic adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Obviously, Mr. Toad, which is Wind in the Willows, not really Halloween related. But then it follows it up with The Tale of Sleepy Hollow. Very, very fantastic. I mean, the Headless Horseman, it's fantastic. One of Disney's best right here. Definitely worth checking out. And I watched in high definition. It looked beautiful. So fantastic. If you like Disney, if you just love the great telling of Sleepy Hollow, check this one out. If you haven't already seen it, I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't, you're missing out. Check it out. Then this was amazing. I can see myself watching this one every year. This was great. That was Hunter's Blood. I'd heard about this movie in the past, and I was really looking forward to checking it out. I just never come across copies of this. Finally did, in this really weird rental case that, as you can see, Prison was also in. Found these really cheap at a pawn shop up like in mid-Pennsylvania. So, really enjoyed the hell of this. This is just as good as I had heard it was. This was absolutely fantastic. Some hunters go out, kind of piss off some other wrong local folk, and the local folk go after the hunters, and it's just, they got to fight for their survival, and it's great. Just an absolutely kind of, horror survival movie. This was a really fun watch, watching these local town folk go after these hunters and how they have to survive the attack. Very cool. This is one worth seeing. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. All right, then we had a movie that I really did not enjoy very much, and that is House of the Damned. Went into this one pretty excited. It's, classic old school black and white film from, when the hell is this movie made? I guess 1963. So I'm thinking, something kind of like The Haunting or House on Haunted Hill, or, kind of in that realm. Not really. There's a house and it's like haunted, and there's this like circus folk down in the basement. It was just stupid. It kind of starts out strong, and you're kind of like, all right, this could be cool, haunted house sort of thing, and then the ending just like, it's one of those like, what the hell just happened here kind of endings. It's just, the ending completely destroyed this film. Not that the film was all that great to begin with, it was just okay, but the ending completely destroyed this film for me. So I was expecting a lot more from this. Again, thinking like movies like The Haunting and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of the original Haunting, not the remake. The original, same thing with House on Haunted Hill. The original's great, the remake not. But really, really, really expecting something like that, and I did not get that at all. This was pretty much garbage. Not a fan. Then something I was a fan of, we have Toy Story of Terror. If you're a fan of Disney Pixar, if you're a fan of Toy Story, this is one you gotta pick up. This was just a short, this is only, 22 minutes long, so very short, but it was just done, it was a TV special, it was a half-hour TV special, and it's fantastic. It's just another great little Toy Story short. I love this. It's fun watching these characters and what they go through with this, the scary little story they go through. It's brilliant. See this one. I mean, if you like Disney Pixar, if you like Toy Story, there's absolutely no reason not to see this. It's fantastic. Buy this. You can get this for fairly cheap too on Blu-ray, even on DVD, because it is so short. They keep the price down low. I mean, high for me, but low for your average cost of Blu-ray. So check it out. It was great. All right, then we had Smiley. Yeah, I had heard some bad things going into this one, and yep, I agree with every single bad thing I heard. Not really good, and a really stupid sort of twist ending. This was pretty much just garbage. I mean, it had potential, kind of interesting story, this supernatural thing where you say something into while you're on camera on your computer, and Smiley comes and kills you, and it's just, yeah. But again, the whole setup and the twist ending, it was just shit. Don't see Smiley. If you heard bad things, you heard correctly. So disappointed with that film. Then I watched Dragon Wars. This was all right. I wasn't blown away by this. It was just okay. A lot of people were saying how much they love this one when I mentioned I was watching it. I just thought it was all right, mediocre, not quite what I was expecting. Not that I really knew what I was expecting, but I was expecting more, I guess you could say. It was just okay. Then we have House at the End of the Street. This one was pretty interesting, simply for the twist in this one. I actually got to admit, it kind of threw me for a loop. There was a twist. I thought it's one of those movies where you think you know where it's going. You're like, all right, I've seen this story 100 times. You're like, okay, here's where the twist comes in. Here's where this is going to happen. And then it does this twist, and I'm like, oh, okay, I thought it was going a different direction. Kudos, movie, you actually threw me for a little bit of a loop. I didn't see that coming. So the movie was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't anything mind-blowing, wasn't anything amazing, but it was a decent story. I did enjoy it, and again, the loop, the twist, again, it threw me for a loop. I didn't quite see the twist coming the way it did. Thought it was going to be a little bit different, and yeah, it turned out to not be exactly what I thought, and I ended up enjoying this one. So I would recommend this one. Again, it's something amazing, something mind-blowing, nothing I'm going to say you need to see this one, but if you've been thinking about checking it out, if you're interested in seeing this one, see it. It was pretty good. Then, of course, I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on this great double feature Blu-ray digibook I have here. It's Ghostbusters 1 and 2. They're absolutely fantastic movies. The first one is one of the greatest movies ever made. The second one, so many people diss the second movie, and I hate everybody who disses the second movie. Is it as good as the first one? No. But in my opinion, only by a little bit it's not as good. I think the second movie is still fantastic. In fact, pisses me off. There's a... Ivan Reitman has a little personal kind of note thing he puts inside the Blu-ray, and he just, I mean, all this, from here, I probably can't see this on camera, but from here to down here is all about Ghostbusters. And then he has this one teeny tiny little paragraph, if you can even call that a paragraph, not even, it's 3 sentences long, about Ghostbusters 2. And he's just kind of it was okay. Even Ivan Reitman doesn't seem to enjoy Ghostbusters 2, and I think that's a shame, because I think that movie is absolutely great. I mean, again, it's not as good as the first one, but I still think it's funny, it's brilliant. This is a great franchise right here for Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I can't imagine anybody hasn't seen these, but if you haven't, you must see these films. And they look fantastic in high definition as well, so check them out. If you're not a fan of Ghostbusters 2, I feel really bad for you, because it's a fantastic film. So Ghostbusters 1 and 2, brilliant movies, obviously. I don't think I need to say that. And then I watched an absolutely fantastic documentary. Again, it's my second time seeing this. And that is Crystal Lake Memories, The Complete History of Friday the 13th. This is an absolutely fantastic documentary. I can talk. Documentary all about the Friday the 13th series, all the way up to the very first one, all the way up to the remake and Freddy vs. Jason and whatnot. Definitely awesome. Pretty much covers everything you need to know, A to Z, from about Friday the 13th. There's really nothing that I can think of anyway that they don't cover. And it's a very long documentary. Even the Blu-ray, yes, even the Blu-ray is 2 discs long. And this is, does it say how long this is? 400 minutes. This is a 400-minute long documentary. It's got some time, so I'd highly recommend it if you have some time to kill. You can watch this one over a couple of days even. I mean, if you're not like me, I sat down and watched this one, in like one night. But if you don't want to, sit down, watch a couple chapters, come back the next day, watch a couple more chapters. It is worth picking up. It is worth seeing. If you're a fan of the Friday the 13th series, this is really a must-have. Or you're just a fan of horror in general. You like horror at all, you gotta own this. And then I watch something I watch every year, and that is Scary Godmother Halloween Spooktacular. Love this this documentary. This is absolutely a documentary. What? This TV special. This is great. Big fan of this. I'd say what I love most about this is it's the fact that it really captures Halloween, in my opinion. There's a lot of newer holiday, like Halloween specials and whatnot that I think are just kind of okay. They're for a new generation. Maybe, younger kids like them and whatnot are going to grow up with them and see their classic. I say, Garfield, this Halloween special, and it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, stuff like that. Even the Alvin and the Chipmunk stuff, stuff like that. I view as a classic Halloween specials. Whereas this is a newer special. And I remember when I watched this a couple years ago, I went into it thinking, is this going to be any good? It's a newer Halloween special. Am I going to like it? Because it's geared towards a younger audience. I absolutely loved this. This captures the spirit of Halloween. It feels like a classic Halloween special. It doesn't feel like something that was necessarily made for just a younger audience. It feels like something that could be made for me. This feels like something I could have watched back in the 80s. I think that's what I love about this. If I watch this, even though it's all CGI and stuff, I still watch it and think I could have watched this back in the 80s. This could have been an 80s special. It's fantastic, and the sequel is really good too. And I was so surprised this year. Last year I actually dressed up as one of the characters. Right there, dressed up as that guy right there. Was his name Daryl? If I'm not mistaken. Dressed up as him for Halloween last year. I dressed up as a piece of candy. Had a green t-shirt on, the jeans, and candy wrapped around me and everything with the strings. I had the same costume. This year, the actual creator, whose name I'm completely forgetting. Jill Thompson. She actually found me on Instagram, found the picture of me dressed up like him, and talked about it, like liked it and wrote something and reposted on her Twitter page and all that stuff. Really cool that she reposted that and said how much of a fan she was, and I dressed up like him. I thought it was really cool that I dressed up as one of her characters from her story. I thought it was really cool. Super nice lady. And again, this is a fantastic Halloween special. If you haven't seen this, see it. If you've been put off by it, maybe thinking to yourself, okay, it's a newer Halloween special. It's not something I'm going to like because it's geared towards a younger audience. No, if you grew up with the classics, check this one out. I guarantee you will find it to be a classic. And then I watched Halloween, but check this one out with the new commentary, the brand new commentary with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis. And the new commentary was okay. It was pretty interesting. It's basically just Jamie Lee Curtis telling John Carpenter everything that happened during the making of it, because John Carpenter pretty much throughout the whole thing I guess he's getting up there in age. He was like, I forget what happened during the making of the movie. He's like, he couldn't remember it at all. So Jamie Lee Curtis is just telling him basically what was happening. It was interesting, and it was okay. Jamie Lee Curtis at some points got on my nerves, saying how scary she found everything, and she was like, okay, I'm sorry, I find this so scary. And she must have said it 52,000 times, every scene she must have said that. It was a little overkill, but it was a decent commentary. Nothing mind blowing, but worth listening to. If you're a fan of Halloween, it's certainly worth listening to. Again, Jamie Lee Curtis a little annoying on it, but it is worth checking out the commentary. And then one I was kind of disappointed with, and that is The Lost Skeleton Returns Again, which is the sequel to The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. Now, The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra is brilliant. I absolutely love that film. It's kind of like a homage to 1950s sci-fi horror films. It is fantastic. I highly recommend seeing it. So needless to say, I was pretty excited about checking out the sequel. It was just okay. I didn't think it captured quite the feel of the first one. The first one was a lot more funny, a lot more exciting, it was paying homage, but at the same time kind of spoofing a little bit. like 1950 horror and sci-fi, and I thought it did a really good job. Whereas this one kind of came off a little boring in my opinion. I didn't think it was quite as funny. I didn't think it was quite as the story was quite as enjoyable. I had some like scenes that would drag on a little bit. It didn't quite work for me as much as the first one did. I just thought, you know, again, Lost Skeleton Cadaver I thought was brilliant. The Lost Skeleton Returns again, I just thought was mediocre. I can't even say I really like this one that much. Will I watch it again? I'm sure somewhere down the line I'll check it out again, but I really have no interest in watching this again anytime soon because I just thought it was okay. It is a true sequel though. It you know, takes up a little bit after the last movie, but again, it was just okay. I can't really recommend this one. Again, Lost Skeleton Cadaver, see, own, buy. It's great. Lost Skeleton Returns again. I mean, if you're a completist, pick it up. Otherwise, you don't really need to see it. And then I watched Hotel Transylvania. Love this one. This is a great movie. This is a fantastic new Halloween movie. Love this one. I think the story is great about the vampire and then the human falling in love and whatnot. And I love all the other monsters and stuff. And so many people, are constantly bashing Adam Sandler, but I think he's fantastic in this movie. So see this one. This is a really well done modern day CGI Halloween movie. This is definitely something I'll probably watch almost every year. I can see me popping this one in like every year and watching it. In my opinion, it's that good. I absolutely love this story. It's very funny, has very enjoyable moments. See it. It's a must. And then I watched a movie I can't hold up. I'm just going to show you. See, I have a little piece of towel here that I wrote it on, and that is Birth of the Living Dead. I do not actually own this documentary. I do not actually own a physical copy. I do own it. I own it through Ultraviolet. I have an Ultraviolet copy of this, and it's a fantastic documentary all about Night of the Living Dead. It's really well done. Again, pretty much covers A to Z on Night of the Living Dead, the original movie. It doesn't go into the sequels or anything really, but again, tells you like everything you need to know, and I absolutely love it. I love I love hearing George Romero talk about like what kind of went on during the movie, because he doesn't BS you. He pretty much tells it just like it is. Like people are trying to say like, oh, there's this whole like message behind a black lead character and how strong he is and blah blah blah. And George Romero is basically like, we wrote this character and then we hired a black guy and figured we're not, and we didn't want it. We just decided not to change the script. Basically, that's what it was. So it wasn't necessarily written for a black guy in mind. It was just sort of written, I guess, probably with a white guy in mind. And they hired a black guy and then decided, screw it, we're not going to change the script. We're just going to keep it the way it is. And everybody was talking about how edgy and controversial, and how ahead of its time it was with this black character. What kind of messages the movie was trying to say and portray and whatnot. He's like, no, we weren't thinking that at the time at all. We just made the movie and just happened to hire a black guy as the main character. And it is what it is. We weren't trying to do anything. I think that's hilarious how many people are looking so deep into this movie, and he's like, no, that's not the case. People who are looking into it are basically just idiots, but love it. So great documentary. Like Night of the Living Dead, which who doesn't? Check it out. And then House of a Thousand Corpses, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. My second favorite horror film well, you know what? I take that back. I think I might have to take that back. I used to always say this is my second favorite horror film. Well, I used to say this movie was tied. I used to say it was House of a Thousand Corpses and Exorcist were tied as my favorite, because I think Exorcist is the scariest movie I've ever seen. But this movie was the one I enjoyed the most. So I kind of had them tied because I liked them both equally, but for different reasons. But I'm gonna actually show you a movie that very soon coming up here in this pile that I actually like better than this one. So now I think about it, I can't say this is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorites, but I can't say it's my favorite horror movie anymore. This one's been bumped down. It's kind of sad, but this is a fantastic movie. I'd still put it in like my top 10, 15 favorite movies of all time. Definitely my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. Definitely, probably like number 3 now. So great movie. This one seems to be hit or miss. A lot of people love the sequel. They're big fans, but House of a Thousand Corpses seems to have it seems to have kind of like a love-hate thing. Devil's Rejects, everybody loves it. People are always like, Devil's Rejects is a fantastic movie, and I agree it is. It's got a different feel though. But House of a Thousand Corpses, people seem to be kind of like either love it or hate it. I love it. I think it's great. It's a great horror movie in my opinion. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love all the characters. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a modern day classic in my opinion. I think years down the line, I mean, this, it seems like with every year this movie becomes more and more of a classic. I see more and more people really getting into this movie, so I think in time it's definitely going to be definitely a classic. So great movie, see it. And then Zombieland. This one's absolutely hilarious. I cannot get enough of this movie. One I usually watch every year as well. Just brilliant, super funny land. They're doing a sequel. I cannot wait for the sequel to come out. If it's even remotely as funny and as enjoyable as this movie, can't wait for it. I love Bill Murray's cameo in this one. It's brilliant for that reason alone. If you haven't seen this movie, just watch it for just the Bill Murray cameo. That his whole scene is just worth it. Just, I mean, he steals the whole movie. It's great. So Zombieland is one to own and one to see. Absolutely fantastic zombie film. And then I watched a documentary with John Carpenter. So not all about Halloween, but basically just about John Carpenter's career. But he has certainly done many horror films, and it talks about many other horror films. So a really well done documentary. To do 60 minutes long, so only an hour long, put out by, Image Entertainment. So I remember going into this one thinking, is it going to be any good? It actually is. It's a pretty well done documentary. So if you're a fan of John Carpenter's work, see it. And then Paranorman 3D, although I didn't watch it in 3D this time, I just watched it in 2D. I was actually kind of doing a little bit of work around the library while watching this one, so I didn't really want to be watching it in 3D with a pair of 3D glasses on while doing work. But love this one as well. I think it's another great modern day Halloween movie. Love this character, how he sees the dead people, and and how he has to help this town be saved, and it's really well done. Again, pays a lot of homage to classic horror movies. I absolutely love that. If you're a fan of classic horror movies, this is one to see. It'll definitely cater to your liking. So Paranorman is one to check out. Definitely something you gotta see. And then I watched Hitchcock, but I watched it this time with the commentary. Thought this movie was pretty enjoyable. It seems like every time I watch this one, I like it more and more. But I gotta say, I was a little saddened by the commentary, because I found out that there are lots of things in this movie that were just sort of thrown in to make the story more interesting. This movie is not 100% truthful, which, okay, anytime you watch like a movie that's supposed to be telling you this truthful story, unless you're watching a documentary for the most part, you're probably gonna be getting a bit of the writers or the directors, the producer, or the studios sort of they're gonna throw a little bit of Hollywood into it and make it not necessarily 100% truthful. You're gonna get some creative minds throwing things in that might not actually happen, and apparently there's plenty of that in here. As I'm listening to the commentary, the director and stuff's all like, oh, we threw this in and we threw that in and this didn't really happen. We thought it would make the story more interesting. And I'm like, really? You thought it'd make this, like, why couldn't we just get the actual story? Why couldn't we just get the actual story of how Psycho was made and what was done during the making of Psycho? Why did you have to change things? Why did you have to Hollywood it up? Why did you have to throw things in and turn things around? And we thought if we did this and make this more exciting, we this character we changed around. We decided to make this person do this even though it was that person. It's like, you shouldn't have done that. I was kind of taken back, because while watching this one, even though I knew it wasn't going to be 100% truthful, I always take these into a grain of salt. There were a few scenes in here where I thought, okay, that probably actually happened. It just seemed like such a good, such an interesting part of the movie that I thought, okay, that's so interesting, is, that probably happened. It just seemed like, that's something that would have happened. But, it comes to turn out there were a few of those scenes that didn't actually happen. I was really taken back by that, because I was like, okay, that's fake. That's BS. That didn't happen in real life. Why? Why? So, yeah, listen, the commentary kind of made me a little upset at this movie. I'm going to look at this movie now in a whole different light. I'm not going to look at it as, super truthful anymore. I'm going to look at it as just, I'm not going to look at it as truthful anymore. I'm going to look at it as kind of just a Hollywood movie now, which is a shame. I really wish I could have looked at this one a little bit, more as an actual true story as opposed to something more Hollywood, but not really anymore. I can't do that. So be prepared. If you listen to the commentary, it might ruin the movie a little bit for you, but I still love it. And then after I watched that, I was like, well, hell, I'm in the mood now. So I watched Psycho. This is an absolutely fantastic movie. Obviously, this is another one of my all-time favorite horror movies. Definitely my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. It is amazing. The characters in this are great. The story in this is great. If you have not seen Psycho, you are missing out. And I have some friends, so I'm like, oh, have you seen Psycho? And they're like, oh, yeah. And then they start talking about, like, the remake, and I just want to punch them in the face. I'm like, no, I'm talking about the original Psycho. And they're like, oh, there was an original? And you know, I just recently was talking to a friend of mine about how much I love Psycho. And she's like, oh, yeah, Vince Vaughn, he was kind of crazy in that movie. And I was like, you're joking. Like, please, for the love of God, tell me you are joking. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that was the remake. That's not the original Psycho. And she didn't know that. Anyway, so Psycho, again, one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Many people besides me feel the same exact way, and there's a reason why. This movie is fantastic. Again, if you haven't seen Psycho, if you've been living under a rock, get out from under it. Check this one out. You won't be disappointed. And then I checked out Wolf Creek 2. It was pretty enjoyable. I enjoyed the first one, and the second one here didn't really disappoint. Pretty much more of the same. People going out to Australia, kind of in the back, you know, in the boony areas of Australia. And we got our psychotic little killer here going around, killing everybody off. It's a lot of fun. It's cheesy. It's goofy. It's enjoyable. It is what it is. It's a killer killing people. And it's goofy. It's cheesy. But it's fun. Check out both movies. Wolf Creek, Wolf Creek 2. They're great, in my opinion. See them. And then I watched Godzilla, which I was really excited for because I actually heard some good things about this one. And then as I'm watching it, I actually started hearing some bad things. I heard like a whole lot of good things about this movie until I started actually watching it. And then you guys started leaving comments saying some bad things. And I was kind of taken back by that. But in the end, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Godzilla doesn't get a huge amount of screen time. But I was okay with that. I thought that the screen time he did get was good and warranted. And the whole movie... I mean, they're building up. They're building up the movie. They're building up Godzilla. If Godzilla would just been like, I'm here, everybody, you know, kind of would have ruined the movie for me. Kind of like, okay, there he is. Whatever. They build things up. I think they do a good job. I think this movie was really well done. Definitely better than the Matthew Broderick movie, although I still kind of like the Matthew Broderick movie, but still much better done. And one I would recommend definitely checking out. I thought this was very enjoyable. I hope they do a sequel. I will see it. Godzilla, see it. And then I checked out Graveyard Shift, which was also really enjoyable, about these people working the graveyard shift at a company. They're trying to basically clean it up. They're in the basement cleaning it up. They're overrun by rats. There's this like giant killer rat. It's pretty fun. It's another cheeseball film, but it is fun. It's pretty cheesy. It's obviously based off of Stephen King shorts, but see it. You know, if you just love, if you're like me and you like Stephen King, you know, movies adopted from Stephen King novels or Stephen King shorts, you know, they can be hit or miss, but you know, they're usually pretty fun. And I have to say Graveyard Shift is one of the fun ones, so see it. And then some more paper towels here with Maniac. Now this one I could hold up and show you. I do actually own the DVD, but it comes in this 250 movie horror pack I have. I'm not going to show you that. I don't feel like holding that whole thing up. So Maniac from 1934. It was okay. I wasn't blown away by it. It was just all right. It's a surprising amount of nudity for a 1934 movie. I was kind of surprised by that too. There's this mad scientist, and his like assistant ends up like killing the scientist off, and kind of takes over his role, and just it was all right. I can't really recommend it, but it's one of those movies where I say if you're interested, check it out. Otherwise, you don't really need to see it. More paper towels here with The Quiet Ones. Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. In fact, when I was grabbing all the movies that I watched, I was like, I saw The Quiet Ones on my list. I was like, The Quiet Ones? I didn't watch that movie this year. I had forgotten about it. I'd completely forgotten that I watched the movie until I was like, no, I didn't check out The Quiet Ones. And then it just popped in my head. Like scenes started coming into my head. I'm like, oh, no, wait, I did see that movie. Yeah, that's pretty much my way of reviewing that movie. I forgot about it. It wasn't that good. I mean, again, it's one of those movies. I should have grabbed some of the drink. It's good. Again, it's one of those movies where I would say, if you're interested in seeing it, if you've been wanting to check it out, see it. But if you have no interest in seeing it, don't. You don't need to. There's no reason really to check it out. Yeah, it's one of those films. Just kind of one of those, you know, if you want to see it, see it. If you don't, you don't have to, because honestly, it wasn't really all that great. And now for the movie that I'd say is now officially tied with The Exorcism, in my opinion, and that is The Innkeepers. Another movie that has a love-hate relationship. I know so many people out there who despise this movie, say it was one of the worst movies they've ever seen. They just hate the ever-loving hell out of it. And you have people like me who think it's pure brilliance. I love this film. This film, it's all about atmosphere. It really, it takes me back to, like, you know, classic movies like The Haunting and stuff like that. It takes me back to movies where it's not all about scare. It's all about the atmosphere, building things up for a scare. You know, a scare here, a scare there, big ending, big epic scary ending. But it's not like you're constantly getting boo, 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 boo throughout the movie. And, you know, it's not gore and scares and, you know, making you... It's all about the atmosphere. This is one of those movies that, you know, turn off all the lights, sit down, check it out. Good luck getting up after the movie's over. It's one of those things where after the movie's over, you're like, kind of don't want to get off my couch. Do I really want to put my feet down, you know, on the floor? Do I want, you know, oh, the lights are off. I got to go over there to turn the light back on. Do I want to walk across the room? You know, it's one of those movies that just creeps you out, in my opinion. Now, I know not everybody feels that way. Some people just seem to hate this movie. I disagree. This movie is absolutely amazing. Just, I mean, you know, I think Ty West is a great director, and I think this movie is just his, you know, his best film ever. I mean, could do better films in the future. I don't know. But I have to say, of everything he has done, this is his best work ever. And I just think this movie is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, it's now my official second... I can't say second favorite horror movie. I say it's tied. It's tied with The Exorcist. Again, Exorcist, scariest movie I've ever seen. The movie scares the hell out of me every time I watch it. But this one also scares the hell out of me too. But this one also has a fantastic story. I love all the characters in this. The Innkeepers. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is something I would say you have to see. Judge for yourself. You're probably going to either love it or hate it, as most people do, but it is something you have to see, in my opinion. And then I watched the remake of Carrie. Thought it was an okay remake. Yeah, look at that. Thought it was an okay remake. Did a pretty good job, but I would still say the original is far superior, in my opinion. If somebody says I want to see Carrie, I'm going to hand them a copy of, you know, this is his basic movie. I'm not going to hand them a copy of this. The original is just, in my opinion, a much better film. But as far as remakes are concerned, this was a pretty good remake. It wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. But, you know, again, if I want to sit down and watch a Carrie movie, I'm going to watch the original. I don't think I would sit down and, you know, pop this one in. If I wanted to get my Carrie fix, I'd watch the original. I'm not really going to pop this one in and check it out. But, yeah, it was a decent remake. If you've been thinking about checking it out, see it. And I got into some CDs here. Watched Mausoleum. This was an alright film. Kind of, you know, it didn't really blow me away. It's about this, so I'm not going to get into I don't really want to get into the plot too much, but it was just okay. It's kind of this girl with a curse and how she takes her curse out on people. It was okay. I expected more from it. Let me put it this way. The cover art is better than the film. So I wasn't really blown away by it. I can't really recommend this one. Mausoleum, I'd say, Again, it falls in that category. If you want to see it, check it out. If you have no interest, don't see it, because I wouldn't say this is something you have to see. This was just very mediocre, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I was really expecting more. But a movie that I was expecting a lot from and got a lot from, that was Death Spa. This was great. Loved it. Great cheeseball movie right here. This was so much fun. All about what it says, a death spa. There's a hell spa, and things start going bad, and it's great. Fantastic kills. Like, just, I was going to say funny story, but it's funny in just a cheeseball sort of way. So Death Spa is one to check out. If you just love your movies cheesy, this is one you got to see. And a weird one. I watched Bates Motel in this Psycho 4-pack. Psycho 2, 3, and 4 actually are good movies. Check them out. They're actually pretty decent. Bates Motel was a made-for-TV movie. Actually stars Lori Petty. Whew. Weird. It actually starts out like okay, but then it gets so weird. It's all about this kid who ends up killing his father, because I guess his father was abusive, and then he finally snaps and kills his father. So he's in a mental institution. Ends up befriending Norman Bates. Norman Bates ends up passing away. Leaves the Bates Motel to this kid who decides, he's gonna, I guess, his best friend was basically Norman Bates, so he wants to do him right. He's gonna build Bates Motel back up and make it into this great hotel again, or motel again, and put that down. And get things going and get the hotel back and have, people come and make it a success again. Of course, everybody's saying, no, don't do it, because a few reasons. One, because the town around the basement hotel now is all built up. Nobody's going to want to stay at a crappy little motel. They all want to stay at like a big hotel now with indoor pools and spas and all kinds of stuff. So they're telling him not to do it, but he ends up doing it anyway, and runs into Lori Petty, who this kind of ruins it. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, the house maybe is like haunted, but like it's haunted by the spirit of like Norman Bates's mother. Something kind of creepy seems to be going on, and then you find out like Lori Petty was like staying there. So it's like, all right, obviously the house is not haunted. Lori Petty was staying there as a squatter. So okay, I guess it's not very haunted then. So she seemed to be doing just fine in this house. So that kind of ruins the whole like haunted house aspect of it, and it just gets weirder and weirder. The end of the film just actually ends up doing like a complete 180, and like you feel like you're watching a completely different movie. It goes from, again, this whole Norman Bates thing, building up the hotel, the motel, and getting it all back running. And then like once they get it up, it's opening day, and they're like, oh, nobody's coming. And also all these people come, and it turns out they're like spirits of like these people who like kill themselves, and they're trying to stop this one lady from killing herself. And it's just like, where the hell is this coming from? Just complete 180 of a film. It comes out of nowhere and turns into the last half hour of the movie is a completely different movie, basically. Really, really weird film. I'm actually going to recommend it because it is so damn weird. I'm not going to recommend it like, oh, it's a good movie, you got to see it. I'm going to recommend it by saying it's really weird. If you want to see something really strange, if you want to see a really strange movie that kind of ties into the whole, psycho story, see it. It's a strange one, but again, in a weird way, I'd kind of say we're checking out because it is just such a strange film. So don't be expecting much. Do not expect a great movie or anything like that, but see it just for the fun of it. All right, some more paper towels here with Vampire and Me, which is a documentary all about Vampira, and it was brilliant, fantastic. I keep saying brilliant, but it was absolutely fantastic. Really well done documentary, covers A to Z on Vampira. Love the hell of it. I got a little worried at the end. I was like, oh, they're not going to mention, the whole like lawsuit with Elvira and stuff. No, they end up bringing it up. It comes towards the end. So if you're like me, you're thinking they're not going to leave that out, are they? No, they don't. They bring it up. But again, really well done documentary all about Vampira. Worth checking out. Definitely. I have a copy on Ultraviolet, so you can get on Vudu if you want, or Ultraviolet, or whatever program you use to play your Ultraviolet movies. Pick it up, check it out. It was actually a really well done documentary. Definitely worth seeing. And then another paper towel here with Zombies, When the Dead Walk, which is another Ultraviolet copy I have of a movie, documentary, and not very good. Not a very good documentary at all. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good either. I would say don't waste your money. And I don't know, was it ever released not to Ultraviolet? I think it was actually an episode of something, because it kept like going away, like it was going away from like to like a commercial and coming back, and it had like some name on the bottom. So I think it was actually like an episode of some show, but I guess turned into a little documentary. I don't know. It wasn't really all that well done. It felt like I was watching like a made for TV kind of like documentary, not like necessarily National Geographic or Discovery Channel, but something a little bit more low budget. Not really good. Not worth checking out. Again, I should have grabbed some water. What was I thinking? There's so many movies to talk about. All right, then one that I loved, and that is Lady in White. First time ever seeing this movie, and definitely not my last time. This was a really well-told story. I loved it, and so many of you people said, you guys were telling me when I picked this one up, I have to check it out. It's great. And then when I was watching it, you were all saying it was fantastic, and you were right. This is a great movie right here. I absolutely love this one. 1988. Absolutely fantastic 80s movie. It definitely has that, it captures that 80s feel like, like Stand By Me and stuff like that. It has that kind of, it feels like an 80s movie. It feels like you're just watching one of those 80s sort of movies. I mean, I'd say even like early 90s, like, The Sandlot, Stand By Me, October Sky, stuff like that. Movies like that. It has that sort of feeling. It really brings you back to being like a kid and stuff. See this one. It was really, really, really well done. And then some Disney with Something Wicked This Way Comes. Also my first time ever seeing this movie. This was also very enjoyable. Really liked this one. Great story about these kids and this circus that comes to town, and how it wreaks havoc. And I love how they're chasing down these kids. Really well done. Great classic Disney. Definitely feels like a classic Disney title when you're watching this one. It is something worth seeing. If you like classic Disney, this is one to check out for sure. Unfortunately, though, one I wouldn't say I'd really recommend, and that is The Watcher in the Woods. I gotta say, I really wasn't blown away by this one. It didn't even really have that, like, Disney feel that, like, you know, again, most classic Disney movies have. It didn't have that feel to me for some reason. I don't know. It was, like, missing something. I couldn't really get into it. I thought the story was just, like, it was just okay. It's all about this, this girl who was killed, and they're trying to figure out, like, how she was killed and why she was killed, and whatnot, and it's, I can't really recommend this one. That's rare for me. Very rare for me to not recommend a Disney title, but in this case, I'd have to say, I really wouldn't recommend it. I wasn't blown away by this title. I just thought it was okay. And then, of course, I had to check out. I actually watched this one with Cinema Sickness Jr., that is, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Yes, we sat down and watched this one together. He seemed to enjoy it for a 6-month-old, but it's a classic. I mean, who hasn't seen this one? Do I really need to talk about this one? If you haven't seen it, what the hell's wrong with you? Check this one out. It's one of the greatest Halloween specials of all time. I love this movie. This TV special. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. One of the best, if not the best. I'm going to say the best Halloween special ever. I don't think it'll ever be a Halloween special that will ever top this. Never going to happen. It's fantastic. It's perfect. It's brilliant. See it. Ugh. And then I wasted my time with Rise of the Dead. And definitely wasted my time with this one. You would think to yourself, okay, so it's about zombies, right? Nope. There's a boy and he's possessed, and it's all about, like, possession, and oh god damn, this movie was horrible. Horrible. Again, it's not even about zombie. Like, you look at this, you're thinking Rise of the Dead. Oh my god, zombie film. Even the back here would say, so and so is under attack by the undead, and even those closest to her can't save her from the evil forces at hand. No, it's not. It's not about just this. Wow. I mean, I could go on just for like hours about how much I hated this movie. This movie was absolute garbage. Horrible. The acting was piss poor. The story was piss poor. It is not a zombie film. If you're like me and you're going into it thinking to yourself, I love zombie movies. The cheesier, the worst, I don't care. Horrible acting, horrible story. I don't care if it's a zombie film. I'm all in. That's what I think anyway. If you're like me and you think that way, then don't see this movie because it's not a zombie film. It's garbage. It's a garbage film. That's what this is. Horrible crap. Don't see it. But a movie that's not horrible crap, Monsters University, the absolutely fantastic prequel to Monsters, Inc. It's so well done. If you like Monsters, Inc., you have to see Monsters University. I thought this was fantastic. This is my second time seeing this movie, and I can't wait to watch it 150,000 more times. It is fantastic. I'm a big Disney Pixar fan, and this did not disappoint whatsoever. Cars 2 disappointed a bit, but Monsters University certainly didn't. Oh, and Brave, that also kind of disappointed me a little bit too. But Monsters University did not disappoint at all. Fantastic. Got a great prequel to how, like, Mike and Sully meet and become friends, and the story that involves from them, wanting to be, scares all the way up to them becoming scares, and it's fantastic. See this film. In fact, what I gotta do one of these days? I gotta sit down and watch this, and then go into Monsters, Inc. I'm gonna do that one of these days. I'm gonna watch them back to back. It's great. I would love to see another one. I would hope to God, like, they come out with another movie, the Monsters Inc. movie, whether it's a sequel or maybe something in between the two films. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I want to see another one. Bring a third one. We need it. And then I watched Scary Movie. I mean, come on. It's Scary Movie. You know what you're getting yourself into with these. They're all the same. Some of you guys are saying this is the worst one yet. I kind of look at these and I just go, they're all kind of the same. I mean, they're all just cheesy. They're all goofy. I hadn't seen the fifth one yet, so I watched it. Again, it's just more of the same. I mean, yeah, I guess they progressively get worse and worse, but, I mean, they're not very good films to begin with, so that's not saying much. So, Scary Movie 5. I don't really have much to say about it. If you've seen the 4 before it, and you enjoyed them, maybe check this one out. Otherwise, you don't need to see it. It's just more of the same. And then some more CEDs here with Friday the 13th. Once again, do I need to talk about this film? I don't think I do. It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time for a reason. This film is fantastic. If you have not seen Friday the 13th, see it. What more can I say than that? It's one of the greatest, not only one of the greatest horror films of all time, just one of the greatest films of all time. This movie is like a classic. See this film. Do yourself a favor if you haven't, but I'm sure 99.9% of all of you out there have seen this movie and you know about it being fantastic, so I don't need to talk about it, but it is great. And then I watched a movie actually in the theaters with smart paper towels here with Dracula Untold. I actually went out to the theaters to see this one. I had coupons for it. I had two like $7.50 off coupons, so I think I paid like $2 or $3 to actually go see this movie. Went and saw it with my cousin, and we both pretty much went out thinking the same thing, that it was just okay. I wasn't blown away by it, but I didn't hate it either. I just thought it was mediocre. It was an okay watch. Nothing you need to see in the theaters. I would say if you're interested, just wait, give it a rent at Redbox, or if you find it for cheap, pick it up, I guess. But again, it didn't blow me away. I just thought it was mediocre. I thought they missed a great opportunity, though. It's all about, Vlad the Impaler, basically about the story of how Dracula came to be. And I think they missed an opportunity where I think at the very end when Vlad is being hit by the sun, because at the end he basically goes to kill himself at the end and kill all he creates this like vampire army. He wants to kill all them off too, obviously. So the sun comes out, all the rest of the army burns up. They're all gone. His zombie or vampire army is dead, which is good, what he wants. Well, he's burning up too. I think they should have done this thing where maybe his face sort of kind of turned into like Bela Lugosi's face, like not like completely turned into it, like maybe like all the feeding of the sun hitting him made him like age and whatnot. You could kind of see a little bit of Bela Lugosi kind of going, and then maybe he falls down or something like that. So when he gets like revived, which spoiler alert, he gets revived in the movie at the very end. Maybe that's where like it goes into the Bela Lugosi Dracula, because this is a Universal film. I think that would have been so cool to have made a prequel to the Bela Lugosi Dracula film. That would have made me actually really. I would have been like, yeah, the movie was okay, but it was brilliant at the same time because it's a prequel. That would have been so cool. They should have done that instead. The ending of the film is just kind of like, like let the games begin. Yeah, again, the movie was just all right. It was just okay, and I think they really missed the mark. Had they made it a prequel to the Bela Lugosi Dracula, which again they didn't really have to make any reference or anything. They just could have made it at the very end when the sun is burning him up, and they would have made him like kind of age and go like Bela Lugosi on us. I would have been like, that is awesome. They didn't do it, bastards. So Dracula Untold, it was all right. If you get it, it's one of those, again, it falls in that category of if you really want to see it, check it out. If you have no interest, you don't need to see it. But a movie you should see, Fright Night, classic right here. One of the greatest vampire movies of all time. This kid has a vampire who moves in next door, and he's got to hunt him down, which he hires a vampire hunter who is he's a TV host who's not really a vampire hunter, but then he decides to help the teenager out, and he's on this mission with him to get his girlfriend back and kill this vampire, and it is fantastic. It's funny, it's enjoyable, great special effects. One you have to see, one of the greatest vampire movies ever. And the sequel, or I'm going to talk about the sequel in a second. The remake wasn't too bad either. I did enjoy the remake. I haven't seen the sequel to the remake yet. I'll have to watch that sometime soon. I haven't watched it yet though. But the remake was okay, but see the original. But I did watch the sequel to the original, and that was Fright Night Part 2, which is a decent movie. I don't think it's as great as the first one. It brings back the same characters, which I love. Brings back our like two main characters, which I think is pretty cool. I love the fact that we see the same people come back. But I thought the story was just okay. This one's Fright Night's a lot more exciting, a lot more well done. This feels like a sequel. I mean, it's enjoyable, but it feels like a sequel. It feels like this kind of, all right, the first one was pretty successful. We need to make another one. Let's quickly write something out. It's kind of what it felt like. But it's still a fun movie, and if you've seen the first one, it is worth checking out, although good luck finding this. The DVD is impossible to find, very, very hard to find. They did release this. Was it on Blu-ray? I think they did like a limited edition release. Even the VHS is not easy to come by, but if you come across a copy of this, pick it up, check it out. If you don't like it, you can send it to me. I'll take more copies of this movie because it's somewhat rare. So again, Friday Night Part 2, it is worth seeing. If you've seen the first one, then check this one out. It is worth seeing, but don't be expecting the greatness that was the first one. Be expecting something a little less great. This is pretty cool, though. I checked out TV's spookiest Halloween episodes. As you see, 13 episodes. We have Bewitched, Married with Children, Mad About You, Roseanne, News Radio, I Dream of Jeannie, The Cosby Show, Square Pegs, That 70s Show, Facts of Life, The Jeffersons, Third Rock from the Sun, and Ned and Stacy. Halloween episodes from all 13 of those TV, or I guess it should be 11, right? 1, 2, 3, or 12, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, it is 13. So this is actually wrong. It's actually 14 episodes because, what is it? Jeffersons? Yes. The Jeffersons is actually 2 episodes long. It's actually it's a 2-parter episode. So, technically it's 14 episodes, but, pretty cool. We're checking it out. It's a Mill Creek release. It's pretty cool. I love this. If you just want to get your kick of fun Halloween episodes, this is one to check out. This is pretty cool. I hope they release another one of these. This was a really fun watch. It's something to pick up. You can get this for like $5 at places like Kmart. It is worth picking up. It's fun to pop in, just let it play. If you're having a Halloween party or something, this would be pretty cool. Let it play in the background. Really cool disc to pick up. Get this one. Ugh. The Last Exorcism 2. Wasn't expecting much going into this one, as the first one was just kind of, yeah, I didn't really care for the first one that much. Again, I didn't necessarily hate the first one, but I didn't like it all that much either. I found it very mediocre, very forgettable. And this one was just a very forgettable and mediocre follow-up. It wasn't very good at all. I would not really recommend this movie. I'm losing my voice. Sorry, guys. I really should have grabbed something to drink. It's an hour. I've been talking for an hour straight. My voice is going away, guys. I'm sorry. So, yes, The Last Exorcism Part 2. I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not even going to recommend the first one, The Last Exorcism. Really not worth checking out. The sequel is definitely not worth checking out. I'd say the only way you see this one, if you see... I have a hard time saying not to see sequels. I mean, if you've seen the first one, I mean, hell, why not? I mean, I guess, but I don't know. It was don't expect anything. It was bad. I mean, if you've seen the first one, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The first movie wasn't very good, so this is the sequel to a not very good movie. Don't expect very much. And then I watched The Class of Nuke 'Em High and Class of Nuke 'Em High 2 Subhumanoid Meltdown. Very cool, some trauma here. Now, Class of Nuke 'Em High was great. I loved this movie. Classic trauma right here. So much fun, so cheesy, so goofball. Something you gotta see if you like trauma. Class of Nuke 'Em High 2 Subhumanoid Meltdown was a decent sequel, though not nearly as good. It was fun, it was enjoyable, but it did feel kind of like a subpar trauma sequel. It just, some trauma sequels are okay, as other trauma sequels feel like a sequel, and this one felt like a sequel. It wasn't nearly as good. In my opinion, did not hold up to Class of Nuke 'Em High. So see Class of Nuke 'Em High. It's great. If you love trauma films, you got to see it. If you are a fan of trauma, though, you should see the sequel. Class of Nuke 'Em High 2. If you're a trauma fan, I would say see it. But again, it's not nearly as good as the first one, but it's still worth checking out. So I'm looking forward to seeing the third one. We'll see if that's any good when I eventually see that. And then I watched the entire Jurassic Park trilogy. Now, say what you will, it's not a horror film. I think the Jurassic Park movies are horror movies. I think they're action, adventure, sci-fi horror films. It's people on an island with dinosaurs chasing them down. They have to survive. Sounds hard to me. If King Kong is considered a horror movie, which I certainly consider a horror movie, then Jurassic Park is also a horror movie. So say what you will. So wanted to watch them all, mainly because I picked up the soundtrack to Jurassic Park, and I was listening to it in the car, and I was like, man, I'm really now in the mood to watch Jurassic Park. So I sat down, watched Jurassic Park, and it's fantastic. I love the movie. It's brilliant. I need to come up with a better definition than brilliance. It's something else, another way to describe a movie other than brilliant or fantastic. I don't know. I liked it a lot, we'll say. So yeah, Jurassic Park, I mean, it's a classic movie for a reason. There's a reason why so many people hold that movie on a pedestal. It's really well done. Even today, it holds up. Funny to watch it nowadays because I remember when this movie came out, the CGI was groundbreaking. It was amazing. Seeing that on the big screen, it was like, wow, dinosaurs are real. It was like you were watching real dinosaurs. But of course now you watch it and you're like, all right, now I'm watching it and you're like, it looks fake compared to like modern day CGI. It does look a bit out of date, but it's still a really good watch. I love it. Jeff Goldblum was fantastic in the movie. Jurassic Park, again, it's put up on a pedestal by so many people for a reason. It's a fantastic Steven Spielberg movie. Again, if you haven't seen it, see it. This is actually one of the ones I would say, who hasn't seen Jurassic Park, but I do know some people younger than me who actually have not seen Jurassic Park. And that's a shame. I mean, everybody my age pretty much has seen Jurassic Park. I'm 32. They've all seen Jurassic Park. I mean, we grew up with Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is an absolute classic movie and one we've seen millions of times, and for good reason. So again, if you haven't seen it, see it. It's great. In my opinion, it still holds up to this day. A little bit cheesy, a little bit. It definitely shows its age in CGI and even in writing and some of the stuff they say, some of the way they present themselves, especially with dinosaurs. The way they spit out kind of facts and stuff like this at the screen constantly seems a little dated, but it's still very, very well done. Definitely holds up. Now, Jurassic Park 2, Lost World of Jurassic Park. I thought I actually really liked the sequel. Again, this one pretty much definitely 100%. Jeff Goldblum, main star of this film, which I'm a fan of because I love Jeff Goldblum. I think it holds up. He has to go back to a different island and save his girlfriend. And again, it's more of the same, but in my opinion, a lot of fun. Not nearly as good as the original, but still a lot of fun. And I'd see the sequel. The part 2 is definitely worth checking out. I actually really enjoy it. And then of course when the dinosaurs come, actually get on where they in was it L.A. or wherever they are over in they're in California. Great. I love when they hit the mainland and sort of attack. It's great. A lot of fun. Just definitely a popcorn film, but a lot of fun. Jurassic Park 3, on the other hand, no, not so much. Nah. It's more of the same, but it's in a boring sort of way. They got to go back to the island. Of course, going back to Island B. Go back to the damn first island. It's not with this second island. I hate the second island. So they're going back to this second island, and they're looking for a kid who is left there because he was parasailing with his mother's boyfriend. They get they end up having to break away from the parasail, and they end up on this island, and the kid has to survive, and it's bad. It's a really bad film. What more can I say? It's not good. First one's fantastic. Sequel, I think, is a lot of fun. It's a popcorn movie, but it's a lot of fun. The third one is just boring, and it's funny because I actually couldn't really remember much about the third one. I was thinking to myself, I can remember the first one really well. I can remember the second one really well, but I was like, the third movie, I was like, I definitely got to watch the third one because I really can't remember what happens in that third one so much. As I'm watching it, it's all coming back to me, but again, it's one of those films where I'm like, oh, this is why I forgot what happened to it, because I don't care about this film. I've completely forgotten about it over the few years it's been since I've seen this movie because it's very forgettable. So first one, second one, must-sees. Third one, hey, if you want to see it, check it out, but I wouldn't say it's a must-see at all. And then finally, finished up the Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon 2014 with Halloween, but this time I watched the extended edition. So I already watched it with the new commentary, but I watched the extended edition on Halloween. Pretty nice. I actually set up a table since Cinema Sickness Jr. was sleeping at the time. We didn't want to have people constantly ringing the doorbell and having the dogs bark. Cinema Sickness Jr. would have never slept. So what I did is I took one of our patio tables out to the very front of our driveway. Took one of the patio chairs out there. I set up my laptop. Popped this on, had a bowl of candy there, and every time a trick-or-treater came by, I handed out the bowl of candy to him. So I got to sit on the front of my property and got to watch Halloween while handing out candy to all the little kitties. Actually, a pretty good way to do it. I think I'll probably do it like that next year too. It was actually really enjoyable. So watch Halloween while handing out candy on Halloween. Doesn't get much more better than that. Now the extended edition is just, as it says, features 12 minutes of extra footage shot for television, which is exactly what it is. What they did was when they shot, when they wanted to put Halloween on television, they had to cut some things out due to censorship. So they actually, when they were making Halloween 2, they shot some new. It's getting really. I'm talking for way too long. They shot some new footage to put in for the television version to make it a proper length, basically, to make up for all the stuff they cut out. But this one here is pretty cool because this takes the original theatrical movie, but then puts all those new scenes in. So it's pretty cool. You get to watch all the movie you're used to seeing, all the gore. I can't really say there's much gore in this movie, but all the stuff you're used to seeing that couldn't make it on the television, but you're also getting the extra television stuff shot during the making of Halloween 2 thrown in this one. So pretty cool. A little bit hard to find the extended edition copy of Halloween, but if you come across it, pick it up. It's pretty cool. I would recommend it. The only thing I would say is it sucks. I really wish they would have included a copy of just the TV version. I would love to see that. I would love to see just the TV version of Halloween. Has that ever been released? I don't think it has. Maybe it has. Let me know if it's been released or not. To the best of my knowledge, it hasn't been released. I know I have a laser disc that comes with all like the extra footage. I have, get this DVD here, which includes the extra footage, into the actual film, but has the actual television version been released? I would love to see that. I'd love to see what the movie looks like, the television version. I think that'd be very interesting. I've never seen that. I'd love to see it someday. So again, if you come across the extended edition, definitely worth picking up. Again, it's the same story you've seen 100 times before, but it's pretty cool to see the extra footage thrown in just for fun. It's something different, changes up a little bit. You'll be watching and all of a sudden something you'll be like, oh, that's different. That's not something I'm used to seeing. So see it. I mean, just see Halloween in general. If you haven't seen Halloween, oh my God. See this movie. One of the greatest horror movies ever made, but the extended edition. Pretty cool. So now they have absolutely no voice, and it's 1 hour later. Holy crap. Why did I not grab a glass of water? I'm going to be paying for this tomorrow. But, so there you go, guys. That is it for the 2014 Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon. That is everything I watched. Didn't nearly get to watch as much as I was hoping. I thought I'd be watching more, but hey, with the baby in the house, you don't have as much time. As always, I pretty much watch one title a day. I was sometimes lucky enough to get 2 titles in, but yeah, pretty much it was 1 title every day. I wasn't able to watch nearly as much as I wanted to, but hey, we got a 6-month-old home. That's just the way it goes. And there are a lot more horror movies that I was hoping to get to that I didn't. That's, whatever. I watch horror all year round. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I got to wait to watch those next year. No, I'll get to them. You'll see me watch these movies. If you follow me on cinemasickness.com or Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, or Twitter, you'll see me watching these movies. So I got plenty more horror movies to watch, and I'll be watching them all throughout the year. I'm not gonna hold off and wait till next year to watch them. Nope, gonna watch them. Gonna watch them throughout the year. So anyway, guys, that is it. Yeah, I'm gonna go now because, like I said, I have no voice. So like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you're not already subbed, please do. And if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, head on over there, check it out. There's a lot more to see there than just these videos. All kinds of updated information on deals I find that are going on. Updated information on what I'm currently up to. Also, if you like my videos, definitely check out the videos from Team Sickness as well. And of course, while you're there, be sure to click on the merchandise tab and purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker, a Cinema Sickness button, or a Cinema Sickness t-shirt. I would certainly appreciate your support. And of course, you can find links to all my social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It is all there at cinemasickness.com. So again, thanks for watching, guys. To all of you who joined in on the 2014 Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon, thank you. It was awesome. I love that you guys were, again, hashtagging me on Instagram and making videos showing what you're watching. That was really cool. I really, really, really appreciate that. Can't wait for more of you to join in next year. And again, if you did participate in this, make a video showing off what you watched. Let me, send me a link to it, and I will post it up at cinemasickness.com. I've already posted one video. I will post whoever else sends me one. If you make a video, I will post it up at cinemasickness.com and to let everybody see. So anyway, guys, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, guys. Goodbye.